Hey Narwhals, it's your host Luke Narwhal here. Hope you're having a good day today. Today we're going to be reading some Ask Reddit. Morbidly obese Redditors, what is the hardest daily activity for you? If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, quick update, I just created a VIP Narwhal list, which basically means you can sign up with your email and get some pretty good benefits. One of the benefits is that you'll get a large VIP only discount on all Narwhal merchandise, which is coming soon. So if you're a big fan of the channel and you'd like to become a VIP Narwhal to get the benefits, the link is in the description of this video as well as the top comment. It's free to sign up. Now let's get into the video. Formerly morbid, finding something to wear that's comfortable and looks presentable and feeling good wearing it. I hated trying to figure out what to wear every day. Now I'm down a bunch and I'm just in gym clothes all the time. The more I lost, the less I cared about clothes. Weird how it worked out. Picture. Edit, thank you for all your responses. For everyone out there, please don't stop. Don't give up. There's a ton of support out there and on Reddit. You can do it. Formerly morbid, currently a bit overweight. The issue is feeling defined by your weight. It doesn't change as I get smaller. I've worked hard and lost over 40 pounds, started running and become decently fit. I still feel like not being skinny defines my life to an unhealthy degree. Losing the weight is easy compared to undoing the years of psychological damage and the constant message that being skinny is more important than being smart or kind or funny. Trying to be perceived as a professional. I feel like I'm always at a distinct disadvantage when I'm trying to wear a suit or really dress up to the nines. All these lumps and meats mean I'll never have a sharp, put together look. No matter what I do, I always feel like I end up looking a little shabby. I'm young enough that it hasn't been a barrier yet, but I'm worried it could be someday. Trying to head it off, but plateaus are a B and I have a long way to go. Besides, how much of it is just my self-perception? Walking. Arthritic knee, and possibly now my hip as well. Sucks. I am not sure I was considered morbidly obese, BMI 45 or so, but pretty sure I was. I am losing now, and it is so disheartening to discover that I hurt more now than when I was 330 pounds. Down to 263 as of this morning, and my hips and knees just ache. My back is starting to hurt too. I am hoping it is my body healing, but I'm afraid I have done permanent damage. When I was morbidly obese, I was also agoraphobic. I never wanted to leave the house out of fear and shame. Also, it's really a mind frig how well people treat me now that I'm a normal size. Do people really treat overweight people badly? Huh, you have no idea. Imagine walking into work hungover as hell, covered in dirt, smelling like you haven't bathed in half a week, and trying to function normally and interacting with people like that. The vague revulsion in the way that most people won't really want to interact with you all that much. That's what it feels like every day. Now, it isn't that way, not completely. Most people don't treat you like a rotting leper, and most of the ones who do think they are being subtle and sneaky about it. They're not. You notice when people don't really want to look at you. You notice when people don't really want to talk to you. You notice when basically no one wants to talk to you about hobbies or associate with you outside of work exclusively because of your weight. No matter how good your hygiene, no matter how well you present yourself, to many people, no matter what you do, you'll still be perpetually gross. And let me tell you, it does not make losing weight any easier to feel like people are so shallow that you not eating for a few weeks will suddenly make them like you more, especially when it's the truth. I totally wish I had taken my weight and health problems more seriously before I started having diagnosed health problems. It's my biggest regret. Unfortunately, I took for granted that I was young and felt healthy and had good medical checkups previously, ignorantly thinking that would continue. And it took me until I was over 30 and started having very high blood pressure with bad side effects and other issues until I truly realized how deluded I had been. My advice to anyone saying they feel excellent and have perfect medical reports despite their weight is to do something now to keep it that way. Don't delude yourself, as it won't stay that way. Don't let it get to that point. Exactly this. At my heaviest, I was 225 pounds at 5'6", so not morbidly obese, but definitely obese. I realized that I was on track to become my mother, and I just couldn't let that happen. I love her, but she's a hot mess health-wise, 450 pounds or more, constant health issues, and she's just stuck. It hurts too much for her to get up and move, but that's what she needs to do. That's no way for me to live. Eating better, I work 40 plus hours a week and go to college, so lean cuisines were a lifesaver. Getting more active and just being patient with myself were the keys to getting my weight down. Now I'm at 160 and have slacked off, but I've been holding steady for over 6 months now. I just want to be there for my kids. I don't want them to be afraid to turn off their phones when I'm in my 40s and 50s because they are afraid that something will happen to me. Being accepted into society and getting treated like a normal human being. I hear all these stories of how people lose all their weight and all of a sudden everyone treats them nicer. Family is more loving, service and retail workers are more happy to help them, strangers are nicer, employers care more about what you do/say, and you have more prospects, if any, for friends in a love life. I can say I have none of that in life and that I'm a complete loner, and it's almost definitely because of my weight. It's the reason I am such an outcast and have developed such an inferiority complex and resentment of myself, and I have no one to blame but myself. It does make me wonder how there's people who are fatter than me who have those things. Maybe it's a gender thing, maybe they're just lucky. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm working on bettering myself. However, with psychological issues that have developed and a hideous body from 27 years of being fat, I have accepted that even if I lose my weight, I may still very well die alone and unhappy. And again, I have no one to blame but myself for not becoming healthier from a young age. I guess it's made me a desensitized and nihilistic person. Tying my shoes, or when I was pregnant, reaching back to wipe my own bum. I've lost 30 pounds, but still have 50 to go, and it's very hard to avoid bad behaviors. 30 pounds is amazing. You can do it. Not sure if I was technically morbidly obese, but I was once obese. One of the hardest things for me was trying not to sweat through clothing during the heat of summer. I live in the South, and sometimes deodorant doesn't always work as you'd expect. I was previously obese, not sure if I was morbid or not. My heaviest was 180 pounds and I'm 5 foot 5 inches. I'm now 125 pounds and have stayed there for 4 or 5 years now. The hardest for me since I'm female was I always had to wear leggings under skirts or dresses no matter how hot it was because my thighs would rub and get really raw. Same for my breasts when I started exercising. I think the absolute hardest part was the emotional aspect of it. I always felt judged, even though I'm certain a lot of that was in my head. Nothing quite like advertising to remind you constantly about your unwanted belly fat or desire to trim up or whatever crappy slogan weight loss products toss around to make large people feel desperate enough to buy their crappy products. Yes, I tried a few. None worked. I lost the weight through hiking in the woods and picking up a few hobbies like knitting so I wouldn't stuff my face at night while I was relaxing. It took a few years to lose the weight and keep it off. Those ads make it seem like you can just do that crap in a few weeks. You just can't. Last year, I started January at 341 pounds. I ended the year at 286 pounds. It's not a lot, but it made an enormous difference. I'm now pregnant, so my weight loss had to be postponed. The hardest thing for me, even when not pregnant, is bending over to pick up things. I have a small torso, and the belly just makes me huff and puff. The more I have to do it, like when cleaning up the house, the worse my back hurts. Technically, I'm not morbidly obese anymore, down to regular obesity, yay, but in the recent past, I was. So, the hardest daily activity for me was anything involving squatting. Bad knees run in my family anyway, and with the extra weight on my body, it was just difficult to squat down and then get back up. Cleaning up the floor was a pain in the bum, and right about the time I started thinking, I bet one of those claw grabbers would make this easier, is when I realized I really needed to lose weight. My knees still give me problems and probably always will because of aforementioned family genetics, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Limitations, because if my weight really hit hard when I went on holiday with my now ex, I couldn't go jet skiing. Not because of waves, my thigh and leg muscles are really strong, but because if I fell off the jet ski, I wouldn't be able to get back on. I have no upper body strength. The other thing which hit hard was when I was snorkeling. I couldn't swim back to the boat because of a lack of arm strength. I'd managed to swim so far out that I was about an equal distance between boat and land, but it would have taken me too long to get back to either. I couldn't lift myself out of the water onto the motorboat, so I had to get towed back, which was both amusing and humiliating at the same time, and also challenging because I had to stop myself from both drowning and getting pulled into the motor. Stairs are my least favorite, especially if anyone else is coming up them. I always try to hurry up the stairs and then end up out of breath just so the person doesn't get stuck behind me while I'm trudging up slowly. Any sort of inclined walking is the worst. I work at a daycare and all the chairs are basically child-sized, so I have a real hard time figuring out which I should sit on or how much of my weight I can put on these chairs. I also end up standing on the bus if there aren't 2 free seats available. I don't actually take up 2 seats, but I always feel bad for crowding the person next to me with my giant behind, so I stand as a courtesy. And that brings us to the end of the video, Narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to join our awesome YouTube community, the Narwhals, and so you don't miss future videos just like this. And once again, if you haven't signed up for it yet, I just created a new Narwhal VIP list. It's basically an email list you can sign up for, and you get some awesome benefits for the Narwhal channel. The link is in the description below. One of the benefits is you will get the biggest discount for all merchandise we release in the future, and a few other benefits as well, so the link to that is in the description below, as well as the top comment in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video, and until next time, have a good one, Narwhals.